morning. On behalf of the National Park Service, I'm pleased to welcome you to Andersonville National Historic Site and Andersonville National Cemetery. My name is Gia Wagner, and I'm honored to be superintendent here. The staff and I, along with our many partners, want to personally thank you for observing Wreaths across America with us as we remember and honor the military men and women buried in our national cemetery this holiday season. We're grateful to all who have helped with this event, and there are many. We will begin today by paying respect to our American flag. Please rise for the presentation of the colors by the America's Sumter County High School Junior ROTC, and then remain standing for the national anthem, please. Please remain standing as John Dewberry, chaplain, Bennett Family of Companies, offers the invocation.
Let's pray. Father, we love you so much and thank you for this day. Thank you for your faithfulness. Father, we pray and ask that you bless our time, but also bless what we're doing today. Allow us to be able to be mindful of how important this day is, but also remind us of these individuals that we're going to be placing these wreaths on. Let us be mindful that this is a joyous moment, not because of the fact of what we're doing, but it's joyous because these individuals have paved the way for us to be able to do the things that we do. And so we say thank you to them, but we also say we love you for allowing us to be able to show our support and our encouragement to them as well as their families. In Jesus' glorious name we do pray. The people of God said, Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Andersonville National Cemetery is the final resting place for over 20,000 military service members who served, fought, suffered, and died for our country. We are entrusted with their eternal care and charged with not only honoring their memory, but also ensuring that the depths of their sacrifices are understood by new generations. Wreaths across America furthers these goals with the help of our many wonderful partners. We would like to give special thanks to a few groups who provided support in so many ways to the entire park here at Andersonville this year. The Bennett family of companies, the Taylor Foundation, the Bennett Board of Directors, the Friends of Andersonville, the American Ex-Prisoners of War, Sumter County Sheriff's Office, our Wreath ambassadors, both North and South teams, Truist Bank, Tidewater Lumber, South Georgia Tech, Food Depot, Mack Trailer, MHC Kenworth, National Society, Daughters of the Union, TSG Incorporated, and the members of Kappa Sigma from Georgia Southwestern who unloaded these wreaths by hand yesterday. We're extremely grateful to all of our partners and supporters. Your extraordinary efforts and determination to honor those buried at Andersonville National Cemetery has made this event a success year after year. I want to invite Lee Gentry, Executive Vice President of the Bennett family of companies and a huge supporter of our National Cemetery, to come up to the podium. Lee?
Good morning, thank you, Gia, and welcome to this very special day. And thank you to everyone at Andersonville Historic National Cemetery for allowing us to be a part of this day of remembrance. We are all very humbled and blessed to be here to remember and honor those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice and to teach our youth the importance of freedom. It does not come free. These wreaths that we will place today came from the support and gracious giving of many people, and we are so grateful for the generosity. I would like to thank, again, our Bennett family of companies, the Taylor Foundation, our Board of Directors, Mrs. Taylor, our CEO, for their gracious giving. Mrs. Taylor, thank you for being with us today. We know that you and your family are here because of your strong values and commitment to patriotism, love of country, and our symbol of freedom, our flag. Thank you, Mrs. Taylor. I also want to thank Mr. Pittman, our president of the Bennett family of companies, for his unwavering support, dedication, and commitment to wreaths. Next, I would like to extend a very special thank you to our team of rolling ambassadors who transported the wreaths, driving a total of 1,500 miles, or 23 hours, from Maine to Georgia, who are also with us today. Because of their drive for this mission, today, for the 4th year in a row, we have brought down in 9 trailers 20,700 wreaths. We will cover this cemetery today. I would also like to thank our ambassadors and northern and southern teams for their hard work and support during this year to help raise money to sponsor these wreaths. I would like to extend a very special thank you to John McGahee, Julie McGahee, Donna Pageant, Colonel Mike Hernandez, Jim Covington, Maggie Robbins, Jason Brady, Patrick Russo, James Collette, Harold Griffith, Thurston Clary, Katrina Betzel, Susan Kindig, Kim Snyder, Polly and Bill Trotter, Judy Carlisle, Stacy Morris, Gwen Taylor, Susan Murphy, James Wolf, and the entire ambassador teams for all their hard work. We couldn't do this without them. And I'd also like to mention that the team for their hard work this year for our very first Stars and Stripes and White Line show and ball drop at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. This year we did the ball drop. We did one last year, but this year we dropped 446 balls, which came out to $44,600, and we raised that, and we did an auction, and we raised over $24,000, making it over $66,000 to help purchase wreaths for the cemetery. I would like to thank the Patriot Riders, the Wicked Jeep Club, Jeep Girl Mafia, the American Legion Riders, and all of the law enforcement officers who kept us safe yesterday, as well as all those who were part of the convoy yesterday. How many saw the convoy come into Americas yesterday? And a special thanks to the Americas Rotary Club. I would be remiss if I didn't mention an invitation to anyone who would like to become an ambassador for Wreaths Across America. Next year, we have request forms in the back at our tents back there, so you can pick up that information if you'd like to donate to get its apparel. Wreaths Across America, they're in the back as well, so please don't hesitate to do that as well. And I just wanted to mention that today with us, I got a card today, but we have with us the Southwest Georgia Nurses Honor Guard with us today. Thank you for being here. Next, I would like to say a special thank you to Sheriff Bryant for his advice, support, and encouragement, and his example to all of us of his love of country, past and present men and women in uniform. I'd like to thank the Mayor of Americas for his kindness and support. America's Police Chief Scott, as well as all of those who were on Main Street yesterday, welcoming the convoy with your flags and warm waves. The businesses and their employees, it has truly brought tears to my eyes. So everyone, thank you for being here today, and God bless you.
Thank you, Lee. So I want to point out that after 4 years of covering, making sure that we had enough wreaths for every headstone here, Lee is retiring from Bennett. When I started here back in 2020, this man came to talk to me about wreaths, and I honestly was bug-eyed by his unbridled enthusiasm for raising enough funds to cover every single headstone in this cemetery. I really didn't think it was possible. But what I've learned about Lee is his passion for this work is infectious. Through his leadership, all headstones get a wreath. 4 years in a row, like he said now. He goes to corporations, he stands outside of the grocery store with his family, and they're giggling because they know it's true, just to raise money for this cemetery so that our veterans can be honored. We are truly grateful for Lee and the entire Bennett family for their commitment to our national cemetery. Lee, on behalf of us here at Andersonville National Historic Site, I'd like to present you with this plaque to show our gratitude for your years of effort, which we hope will continue next year, right, everybody? We need Lee. We need Lee.
Wow, it's heavy.
Don't hurt yourself. And we want to thank everyone again who's continued to make this yearly event a reality. Winter is a time of reflection for many cultures, and ours is no exception. Today and throughout the holiday season, we hope you'll take a moment to appreciate and reflect on our service members who spend holidays far from home, often in harm's way, and the sacrifices made by their families. To those who have served or are serving, thank you for your service, sincerely. I want to share a little bit of history with you now. By this date, 160 years ago, 12,351 United States soldiers lost their lives right here at the Camp Sumter military prison site. Ultimately, 12,920 Andersonville prisoners would be laid to rest here in this national cemetery. Based on first-person accounts and diaries, we know these men shared feelings common to all prisoners of war, the frustration and despair of being trapped so far from home, especially during the holidays. In 1942, what would become the American Ex-Prisoner of War Organization, or AXPOW, began as an effort of the families of prisoners of war to provide aid to captive soldiers held in Bataan, a horrible, horrible place during World War II. Following the war, the organization changed focus to focus on the stories and the needs of our ex-prisoners of war and their families. They've accomplished a great many things in the last 82 years, notably. The American Ex-Prisoners of War Organization led the effort and the fundraising to build our National Prisoner of War Museum here at Andersonville, which just celebrated its 25th anniversary last year. I'm bringing this up now. It's really bittersweet for us. AXPOW is dissolving this year as the number of former POWs has dwindled. While we're grateful that fewer Americans are being held as prisoners of war, we will miss our special partnership with the AXPOW members. We look forward to keeping their stories alive for future generations. We thank all of you for coming out and being part of this special opportunity to honor and remember our fallen veterans and to teach new generations about the price paid for our freedom. At this time, we will honor each branch of our armed forces, prisoners of war, and those missing in action with special wreath presentations. I ask the wreath presenters and their escorts to prepare to approach and hold your designated wreath. As I announce each individual's name, please approach and place your wreath here in front of the rostrum. James Purcell, Emergency Management Coordinator for the Southeast Region of the National Park Service and proud Army veteran, will present a wreath to remember those who have served and are serving in the United States Army. David Mattingly served in the Marine Corps and also brought the Marine trailer. He will present a wreath to remember those who have served and are serving in the United States Marine Corps. Teresa and Clarence Davis, who brought the Navy trailer, will present a wreath to remember those who have served and are serving in the United States Navy. Zach Pyam, Army veteran who brought the 13 Fallen trailer, will present a wreath to remember those who have served and are serving in the United States Air Force. Who served in the Army and brought the ACE Wreaths Across America trailer, will present a wreath to remember those who have served and are serving in the United States Space Force. Aaron Kessler, who served in the Marine Corps and brought in the Founding Fathers trailer, will present a wreath to remember those who have served and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Fred Boyles, retired National Park Service employee, retired Naval Reserve officer, chairman of the Friends of Andersonville, and board member of the American Ex-Prisoners of War, will present a wreath to remember those who have served and are serving in the United States Merchant Marine. Donna Paget, Bennett Motor Express, Director of Financial Planning and Analysis, proudly presents a wreath to remember those who are missing in action or prisoners of war, in honor of her uncle, Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant James Wesley Jackson Jr., who remains missing in action from the Vietnam War. This completes the Armed Forces Wreath presentation portion of the program. Lee Gentry will be remembering and honoring 4 veterans interred this year in our National Cemetery. Lee?
Today, we remember 4 veterans laid to rest here at Andersonville National Cemetery. Presenting the wreath for Danielle Westbrook Messner are Tony and Misty Justice, and Misty also served in the Army. Today we honor Danielle Westbrook Messner, born on May 10, 1927, and passed on August 15, 2024. She was 97 years young. Danielle was the daughter of Daniel Webster Westbrook and Jewel Jones Westbrook. Those she knew and loved called her Danny. She was the youngest of 3 girls. She is preceded in death by her parents, sisters Elizabeth and Martha, and her husband, Naval Aviator Commander James R. Messner. Mrs. Messner was the mother of 4 children and grandmother to 3 great-grandchildren. A native of Americus, Georgia, she grew up in a small house in the country where her father oversaw a farming property nearby, and her mother was a teacher. Danielle and her family eventually moved to Cordele, where she graduated from East Crisp County High School and went on to attend nursing school in Savannah, Georgia. In 1948, she began her nursing career at the VA hospital in Chamblee, Georgia, before being called to active duty in 1949 and appointed to the rank of ensign. It was in Jacksonville that she met James Messner, and on a blind date. And before his deployment, he asked her, "Will you write to me?" Interestingly, when James and Danielle met, she outranked him. In 1951, they were wed. At the same time, spouses could not both serve in the armed forces, so she resigned from the Navy and held down the fort at home, while James was deployed and ensured Her 4 children lived as normal a life as possible. As her daughter Kathy, who is here with us today, who is present here, they are proud and happy that their honor is being honored today. Daniel Westbrook Messner, United States Navy. Presenting the wreath for Betty C. Parker and Zenith Lee Parker is Katrina Betzel and Jason Brady. Today we honor Betty Parker and Mr. Zenith Lee Parker. Betty Parker was born on June 9th, 1946 and passed on May 1st, 2024. She was 82 years young. Betty was the daughter of Charles Walker, Ward Proctor, and Dorothy Corson Proctor. Zenith Lee Parker was born on May 26, 1942 and passed on June 19, 2024. He is the son of Edgar P. Parker and Mary Florence McIntyre Parker. Mr. and Mrs. Parker wed on December 20th, 1965 and were married for 58 years. Together, had 2 children. Lee and Charles Parker are survived by their 2 sons, 2 daughter-in-laws, 4 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. Although she only served a short time, Mrs. Parker was proud of her service and was quite noted that she served our country proudly. Zenith Lee served in the Navy from March 6, 1962 through October 31, 1986. He was an extremely proud Navy veteran. He cherished the memory that one of his first assignments was aboard the USS Saratoga, an aircraft carrier assigned to provide air support as part of the U.S. Navy blockade around Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis. He was also proud of the fact that he served 6 tours in Vietnam and was able to retire as a Master at Arms. In 2019, he was selected to participate in an honor flight to visit the memorials in Washington, D.C. Zenith Lee Parker, United States Navy, and Betty C. Parker, United States Army. Presenting the wreath for Ben A. Rice will be Patrick Russo, a veteran of the Marine Corps. Today, we honor Ben A. Rice. Ben was born on July 9, 1927 in Middlesboro, Kentucky, and passed on September 22, 2024. He was 97 years young. Ben is the son of Mr. Howard Rice and Miss Etta Wright. He is survived by his wife, Karen, and half-brother David Sutton and half-sister Betty Brewer, several nieces and nephews, and extended family. As Mrs. Rice recently recounted, they met on a Marine base where she was asked to speak, and they became friends. Soon after, he fell in love, but she made him work for it. Mr. and Mrs. Rice were happily married for almost 40 years. Karen said Ben was the sweetest husband. Captain Rice proudly served 17 years in the Navy as a chaplain, where he served in radio communication for missionaries and military personnel. During his service to our country, we had several commendations, including the World War II Victory Medal, the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, and Meritorious Service Medal, among others. After his service, he was proud to serve as pastor at Leesburg Presbyterian Church for 14 years. More than anything, Reverend Rice loved God, his family, and his country. Ben A. Rice, United States Navy.
We'll get it together, I promise. We will now have remarks from John Tressel, Georgia Society, Sons of the American Revolution.
As we approach the holiday season, the Sons of the American Revolution are proud to join the nation in honoring our veterans through the Wreaths Across America initiative. This cherished tradition, which began in 1992, aims to remember, honor, and teach the next generation about the sacrifices made by those who served in the armed forces, particularly those who gave their lives for our freedom. Wreaths Across America is taking place on the National Wreaths Across America Day, December the 14th, 2024, and we'll see the laying of a holiday wreaths over 4,600 participating locations across the United States. This beautiful act of remembrance serves as a tangible way for Americans to pay their respects and ensure that the memories of our heroes are never forgotten. This year, we are especially honored to share the special comments from our President General, Darrell Eddington, who highlights the deep significance of this moment as we join the mission of the Wreaths Across America to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. We remember the fallen by being here today, and we greatly appreciate your presence, as we could not have these ceremonies without your support. We honor those who serve by acknowledging their sacrifices and supporting the troops around the world. We do this in our local communities through the USO, VFW, Disabled American Veterans, and many other service groups. We must teach the next generation so the spirit of freedom is always alive and well. As President Reagan said many years ago, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in their bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same, or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was like in the United States when men were free. That was Ronald Reagan back in 1967, and his comments are still true today. We teach in small ways like saluting the flag, showing respect for our military, law enforcement, and other organizations that keep America strong. By leading by example, we teach the next generation that we truly care, and we are willing to take the personal steps to show our support. Teaching our children starts at an early age, and like that classic book entitled, "All I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten," we must continue to teach our kids the meaning of liberty and freedom. My wife, Billy, was a kindergarten teacher for 25 years, so if you are a teacher, we also honor you today, and never underestimate your ability to have a positive impact on your students. And if you brought a child here today, bless you, as you are leading by example. My own mother brought me here when I was 5 years old, and although that memory and the photos are very faded, she understood the historical significance of this place and its mission to remember our fallen troops and those who were in prison during wartime. The lessons of that day, although they are many years ago, are alive in me now. We join the Wreaths Across America theme, Live with Purpose, to encourage youth to get involved in their own communities to serve in even small ways that can make a big impact. One of the patriotic, historic, and educational purposes of the Sons of the American Revolution is to perpetuate the memories of those individuals who, by their services and sacrifices during the War of the American Revolution, achieved the independence of the American people. Today we honor all the troops in all our past conflicts, and more recently especially the conflicts in Korea, Vietnam, Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, and Iraq. The Sons of the American Revolution seeks to foster cooperative arrangements with patriotic organizations such as the Wreaths Across America in pursuit of our common goals of honor, respect, and support of veterans, and to inspire our communities to have a more profound reverence for the principles of a government founded by our forefathers. Thus, it is my honor to be here today, and more importantly, I want to thank you for being here today. May God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, John. We're ready to place some wreaths. Before we begin, I have a couple of requests. First, it's absolutely fitting that you pause at each headstone while placing a wreath to honor that individual service member by saying their name. There are 6 graves just the other side of these 2 evergreen trees that do not get wreaths. Those are the Raider graves. During the Civil War, they preyed upon fellow prisoners at the prison camp here. They do not receive wreaths. For your safety, watch out for uneven ground, fire ant mounds. Please select a section to work in and join us in placing the wreaths. 1 wreath per headstone. There are some headstones out there that other people have come and put 2 on their families because there are couples buried together. Leave those alone, otherwise one wreath per headstone. And if you could do us a huge favor, we've been working really hard this week. If you could drag the boxes and packing materials, if you're able, to the edge of the road, that'll make it easier for us to clean up today. We appreciate that very much. I really want to wish you happy holidays, and it's just our favorite day of the year to have you all come celebrate with us and remember, and it's just really heartwarming to have the community here with us to honor our veterans. Thank you.